All right, now let's joined by Dr. Marcus Orina, who's an expert on maritime issues and a Kenyan lawyer based abroad. Good evening and welcome to the program. So first, quick question. There's two sides, both Kenya and Somalia are claiming some sort of quote-unquote win. What do you say, who won tonight?
From the determination of the court, it's clear that Somalia's claim was stronger than Kenya's, especially in regard to what Kenya claimed before the court, because Kenya claimed that the boundary between the maritime boundary between Somalia and Kenya should be drawn perpendicular to the land border. But then on the basis that Somalia had acquiesced to some sort of exercise of that Kenya owned this territory. But when the court looked at this, it made a determination that there's no evidence that Somalia actually had accepted in any way, and even Kenya's practice did not show that. Somalia's claim then, an argument was that this boundary should be drawn, a median line should be drawn, which basically is the procedure when adjacent states have overlapping, maritime zones. So to a large extent, it's a win for Somalia, although there was a slight adjustment on the part of Kenya, but outright win is for Somalia.
So here's the question though. The court did not fully accept, Somalia's version of events, if you like, or the line as had been claimed. Also did not accept Kenya's version of events, the line as it were. The court drew a new line. Is that acceptable for both parties, you think?
Yes, a new line being drawn is a practice that the court has adopted, because the court has a methodical way of resolving such disputes. It's basically a three-stage methodology, where the first stage is to draw a median line where these are overlapping, and then basically which would have favored outrightly Somalia. But then it goes further to say whether to look at the situation to see whether there are any special circumstances that would necessitate adjustment of the line so that to reach an equitable solution. So in this particular case, special circumstances which are mainly geographical, that being if Kenya is in the middle of two other states, which kind of creates a concavity. And in this particular case, although the court said that it's not clear outrightly, if you look at Kenya and Somalia, we cannot clearly tell that Kenya, has an issue of concavity, which would mean that it's cut off from its marine resources. It looked at the region generally and said, if you look at Kenya, Somalia and Tanzania, especially because it's Pemba Island, then you would find that Kenya is in such a situation where if you were to draw that median line, then it would be cut off slightly from access of its marine resources. So to that extent, then the court adjusted the line slightly northwards. Not to what Kenya was demanding, and of course not towards what Somalia was demanding. So there is a slight adjustment by the court, and that is a practice the court has done before in other cases.
Right. Nabil, let's talk about the politics of this all. This court and its opinion has largely been ignored by the UK, the US, China, much closer home between Nigeria and Cameroon. Can this decision be enforced by the courts, really? This opinion, if you like.
Yes, enforcement of an ICJ decision, of course, is not a straightforward matter, because states have ignored. We've seen the UK ignore the Chagos advisory decision, although that was binding as case, as a binding. Although Kenya said that it's going to ignore, there are larger implications, especially in regard to what next then, because Kenya at the moment is chairing the United Nations Security Council. It cannot outrightly beat war drums and go to war and say that this is our position and we stick by it. The same case with Somalia, for instance. Somalia cannot say that the court has said this is our, this is our maritime zone, and we have to get it immediately. So as a number of scholars, experts, for instance, Owiso has argued that it's time for both states to look at, what's at stake, bigger things at stake. And actually they can now, going forward, start looking at this thing afresh and negotiating, because nothing stops the two states from negotiating afresh after this determination. Although now Somalia will have an upper edge. But in terms of what the implications of ignoring this, or one party saying that this is our territory and we must get it, is that there are, shared security interests between Kenya and Somalia, and Kenya cannot afford to be confrontation with Somalia, especially by the position it occupies at the moment, because the Security Council is the organ which has authority over issues to do with the security in case there was a confrontation. So going forward, I think it would be in the best interest of both states to sit down and agree how to address this.
Nabil Mokai-Orina, thank you very much. I'm sure for the next 2 days, this will be a hot topic and we must discuss it and find solutions. As you say, both states need to find diplomatic ways on how to deal with this issue. Great having you on. Thank you very much.